Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever, where today we're going to be casting a 6v6 on the map Canis, Adaptive Canis River. A map everybody knows. Everybody's played this map. As you see me, and yeah, I don't know why I'm talking like that. Either way, I'm going to slow the game down as I go ahead and start introducing players, and they type furiously in a language I don't understand. Team 1, of course, is up here at the top. Team 2 is down here at the bottom. Let's go ahead and start with left to right as we normally do with Ninelet Soup. Ooh, a green Aeon going first land. To his southeast, we have a pink fluffy noob who is a pink fluffy Aeon going first land. Then to his northeast, we have Luker. I'm gonna go with Luker. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Who is an orange Aeon. A lot of Aeon on this team. This team is the team to be on. An orange Aeon going first land, gonna be in this air position. To his southeast, we have a purple Seraphim by the name of Wounded Elk Noob, and he has gone first land. Then to his northeast, we have Dave, or Noob, but there's a lot of noobs in this, so I'm just going to go with Dave. Dave over here, a gray Cybran going first land. Then last but not least for Team 1, we have Noonded Elk Woob, which I'm actually going to have to say. I thought they were different people in a previous cat. Nope, there's two different ones, and yep. This is happening, and they're on the same team, which makes it worse. Either way, the two elks are on the same team. This is Nooded Elk Woob, the blue Cybran going first land. Moving on to Team 2, we are gonna start right to left this time, why not? We have a pink Seraphim going by the name of Valone, and first land, of course. To his north, we have a yellow Seraphim by the name of Maximus XXX. He is a adult-rated film called Maximus, and he has gone first land. There is a red Cybran by the name of OK Puck in the air slot going first land, and up to his northwest, already walking out to the middle of the map, we have Grode Billix, a white Aeon, who I'm assuming went first land. Then to his southeast, still in their base, we have a black or gray or dark green, I don't know what to call it, Seraphim by the name of Drake going first land, second air. And last but certainly not least, we have a red Cybran going first land by the name of Robogear. And yes, I do need to say one more thing before we start talking about the action, because this map's about to explode with action. There is something that happens in this cast that I usually use to disqualify cast replays. There is a desync. This desync happens at a point late enough for me to deem it not impactful to what we're going to be seeing. So yeah, if you send me a replay with a desync and it's not like within a minute of when the game would probably end, then yeah, it's not getting casted. But with that out of the way, it's also a kind of short cast. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's bump it back up to normal speed and see how we get on. We do have a lot more players than normally. The most you normally see is 5. This 6th person over here kind of changes the map up a little bit. Normally this player will take over this side. We do have units kicking off over here, shooting each other. They did manage to kill off an engineer here that was building a mass extractor for Maximus. We have T1 bombers out. I am going to miss so much, by the way, everybody. I apologize, but that's just going to happen. We do have a T1 bomber coming out. It's going to be dropping bombs onto an engineer over here building a mechs, and that engineer is dead. So that's going to slow down the expansion for OK Puck a little bit, but that's not too much of an issue. We do, of course, have a lot of early airplay. We see the occasional band of Mantis or tanks just making their way around the map. Let's go ahead and see. We do have the Calm of Noonded Elk Woob coming forward through this ravine, he's going to be trying to push on his opponents, Maximus and Valone. Possibly going to deny these mass points in this hydrocarbon from Valone. Whereas Maximus is over here, he's just going to blap away at some Selins, kill them off. Over here on the western flank, we can see that Robogear going for T2, not going for the aggressive play that his mirror Noonded Elkwoob has gone for, deciding to focus much more on getting tech up, possibly gonna throw up a little bit of a fire base, just try and hold off because, of course, he is pretty much 2v1, pretty much 3v1 at this point, considering the comm of Luker has come out to this flank to assist. There's 3 comms here against the lowly 1 of Robogear. We do see Drake starting to make their way out to try and assist. And we have all of these players and more T1 bombers coming in, killing off yet more engineers that were assisting the speed upgrade on the way for Garud Billix. Those bombers, all of them pretty much coming out of Dave's base as Dave makes their presence known. I would guess that for Team 1, Dave is going to be focusing a little bit more on the airplay than his allies, since generally this player would be the air player, but this player now doesn't have to hold this flank, so it's a little bit strange. Either way, over here we can see a bomber out from Pink Fluffy Noob harassing this Mantis army and the comm of Noonded Elkwoob, who is currently in a little bit of a sticky situation. We have OK Puck, Maximus, Valone, and Noonded Elkwoob out over here. And that's very dangerous for Noonded Elkwoob. He's going to have to fall back if he does not want to be dead. He, of course, does have Dave's comm over here to help him out. And that is going to end the hostilities temporarily. Everybody going for some reclaim. I would look at reclaim numbers, but there's so many players, I'm just not going to bother. I will swap it over to reclaim for a few seconds. You can look at everybody's reclaim numbers. I do this in 1080p for a damn reason. And there we go, we're back to mass numbers. And you see just shots being fired, a little bit of poking harass over here. While over on the opposite flank, it's a lot more quiet, less action going on. The middle is pretty quiet as well, although we do see the comm of Wounded Elk Noob coming over to try and assist. Of course, I would guess that Wounded Elk Noob and Noonded Elkwoob are good friends, or maybe they hate each other, I'm not sure. Either way, they're both here on this flank, and we can see the gun upgrade and possibly... Nope, just gun is done for Wounded Elk Noob, and gun speed and range is on the way for Noonded Elkwoob, so they are both going to have gun upgrade very soon. This flank's going to be very dangerous with so many comms on it. There's so much risk of people dying all over the map. We can see that the comm of Robogear has come out and built a tactical missile launcher, being a cheeky little annoyance. Those Cybern missile launchers, of course, having that feature of when you shoot them with a tactical missile defense, it doesn't actually defend you, it just turns them into 3 rockets instead of 1. It's quite annoying. With their sneaky ways. Gotta love the Cybern. Have all these little quirky mechanics. Whereas the Seraphim, which somebody said it, I think I said it in one of my casts, but I said nobody likes Seraphim or something like that. But somebody agreed with me, like, nobody likes Seraphim. And I was like, thinking about it, they have the least number of units, they have the least number of units with quirks. Like, off the top of my head, the only unit they have that does something super unique, other than the Athoda, which is an experimental, and all the experimentals do something unique, but the only one that does something unique is their T1 Scout, because it can cloak. It's the only unit that has personal cloak, other than a comm, I believe, right? I guess Fire Beetles now also have personal cloak, so that's not even the case anymore. Either way, we can see a little bit of progress being made by Wounded Elk Noob over here, pushing in towards their opponent. We can see a little bit of a push out from Nylent Sub and his ally Luker as they push forward southbound towards the expansion of RoboGear. And we can see Maximus getting in a little bit of a difficult situation, down to about half health as he retreats from the combined forces of Wounded Elk Woob and Wounded Elk Noob. You can see Maximus falling down below 6,000 HP and dropping quickly. He's being blocked using the Shift G command. Wounded Elk Woob doing fantastic at keeping Maximus from getting into the water, and I think this is going to be our first ejection. Maximus is going to go down to the horde of Mantis firing on him, and that's our first player down at 9 minutes. We see them get ejected exceptionally early. We do have Gun Splash on the way for Valone, but he might need to start moving soon as well, as the multiple gun comms on this flank have allowed enough room for these players to get quite a little bit done. Of course, with that though, we can see Wounded Elk Woob has lost quite a bit, but I missed it. There was a bunch of Corsairs coming out and they sniped off Wounded Elk Woob. Oh my gee, they were right on my screen and I missed it. A Corsair snipe, making that a tit-for-tat exchange. Team 1 losing Wounded Elk Woob while Team 2 loses Maximus XXX. And then we have Wounded Elk Noob over here in the middle trying to take out some of the production facilities out from Grode Billix, and he's taking Corsair fire at a massive degree, and there's a gun comm right on top of him. We might see the Elk Noob, Elk Woob brothers, the Elk brothers going down, and we do. Both of the Elk players being taken out in quick succession of each other. And with that, we can see down here that RoboGear is also in a spot of bother, as his fortress, his production facility, his main base is under fire and he's being attacked by a gun comm. Luker showing up. This is going to be our next ejection. Almost certainly RoboGear is going down, and with that it will be 2 players from each team bowing out before the 12-minute mark. Oh my word, as both teams just immediately lose much of their base, both teams losing their player that was isolated on a flank in RoboGear and Wounded Elk Woob respectively. I'm very happy that both the Elk brothers are gone, so I don't have to worry about saying the wrong name. Meanwhile, up here in the top, we can see either a drop or just a very effective run-by happening, killing off multiple mexes and many engineers. Oh no, just one mex, but it doesn't look like a run-by. That definitely looks like more of a drop. It was out from Drake. And we did see those Corsairs get a snipe, and Team 1 has been somewhat lacking in the air department. We do have T2 air out for Nylent Sub. Maybe some Swifties will help keep that under control. Losing 2 players to the same set of Corsairs is very painful. Of course, they did manage to, as I said, go tit for tat to get back on the board, keep it even. It is still even as far as teams are concerned. It's a 4v4. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, and I haven't had much time, but it does seem we have a little reprieve as Drake starts to push on the position of Nylent Sub, but Nylent Sub is perfectly safe here, other than maybe these Corsairs, which are moving forward. But the game quality is 90%. It's a very well-balanced game. It's a very high-rated game, with the average rating per each team being over 1,700 rating, which is quite high in my opinion. And as we continue to see how these players progress through this match, all I can say is thank you for joining me today. We can see the comm of Luker out here just hanging in the breeze. No regard for his safety. They've seen multiple hordes of Corsairs out, and It's a very dangerous place to be, just standing out here in the middle. But these players, these high-rated players, have no regard for the health of their comms. They push their comms to the absolute limit. It's the only thing you get in this game for free, and they're damn well gonna use it, I guess, as the comms of Grodbillix and Lucre meet each other. If Lucre takes enough damage, that horde of Corsairs that was here earlier could very much so come in for a snipe, and they are coming in, but they're going to stop short and move north, firing onto a group of T1 units instead, not going for the snipes, not going for the comm, which is an interesting play. Lucre is possibly going to get sniped now. We do see the Corsairs come in and fire, but they don't get very much done, as it's a very well microed dodge out of Lucre that we couldn't see because of my horrible camera work. Oh my word. We do see Ninelet Sub expanding to the south, expanding as much as he dares towards his opponent. And a lot of spam coming out now from Dave as he moves more and more units southwards, trying to stop Valone from sitting out here and doing as he pleases. A 2-2 PD going up for Valone on this flank. Okay, Puck and Valone holding on to this flank, whereas Drake and Grodbillix hold on to the other. A lot of the attention in this match going towards the southern side of the map, kind of giving you an idea of how this match has gone so far. Some lucky snipes have kept it even, but Team 2 has been consistently behind so far. We will have to see if Team 2 can manage to get a bit more aggressive, get some more territory on the map, as they have lost map control. It's basically a kind of dome shape that they control, and the rest of the map is theirs. Around a 35-65 split of the map between these two teams. We do, of course, see Pink Fluffy Noob coming out over here, firing in towards the units of... Oh, wow, he's about to go down! The mix of Oblivion turrets and Corsairs have brought him very low on health. Is he going to be able to survive? Are there going to be ground fires coming out, walking away with sub 200 health, but managing to survive? Of course, having that shield on the comm, only thing saving his life at that moment, along with some fancy footwork. Is Grode going to come over here and possibly build a T1 torpedo defense? Torp launcher could very much so kill off that comm, but it does look like Pink is going to retreat and get their way out, as we see Blazes and Auroras crossing the riverbank in an assault in an attempt to distract the comm of Grodbillix. And 900, sub 1000 HP, as ground-fired Corsairs bring him back down below 200 HP. This is such a close situation. Pink Fluffy Noob surviving by his nut hair sack. Wait, nutsack hair. Whatever. A close shave and almost going down. Yet again, Fancy Feet over here dancing the goddamn Sombra. Oh my word. Doing the Canis Cucaracha. As to the south, we can see an assault out of Lucre pushing into this somewhat of a plateau area. It's not going to be super successful, as we can see Drake over here dealing with it quite handily. We do see a Torp Bomber coming out from Drake, 2 of them in fact. Pink Fluffy Noob needs to just stay alive. Their shield is back online. That's an extra 8,000 health points. as Luker now targeted by the Corsairs and about to go down to the comm of Grode, and that's it. He is dead. If Noob were any closer, he may have gone down too. And with that, it is now a 3v4. Team 2 managing to claw their way back into this game, managing to take out a key player for Team 1 in Luker. And of course, Noob is very close to going down themselves. Pink Fluffy Noob in a precarious situation. The shield is helpful, but that low health just means that any given time it could be a death blow thrown towards them. They need to get back to the safety of their base, need to get under shield coverage. As ASFs start coming out from Dave is going to possibly gain air control as a T2 army comes out from Nyland Sub to attempt to deal damage, deal a death blow to Team 2, focusing on Drake to begin with. We can see Grodbillix going into the water as Harbingers show up. T3 assault bots are something you never really want to go toe-to-toe with your comm. Even the most upgraded comm has some trouble dealing with them. Maybe a Seraphim full Rambo comm with like advanced nano repair, gun, and splash wouldn't mind it. But that is a very expensive and rare scenario. We can see Corsairs getting shot at by flak as they come out to attempt to deal damage to these mass extractors, I would expect. Or maybe even just trying to kill off some of these factories, these beachhead factories, attempting to set up an area of production close to his opponents. We can see an assault now coming out from Dave, and with some assistance from Pink Fluffy Noob. Valone over here building T2 PD, but this is not going to be too clever or smart if that comm stays forward. Valone needs to be very careful and give up some ground here. They need some form of air control. OK Puck has their comm also out here, completely unupgraded comm, I might add. A little bit rare to see at 20 minutes, no upgrades on the comm, and still trying to use it to kill off units. But that is the current situation. As we see this massive assault begin and push its way towards the main bases and the production areas of OK Puck and Valone. They just simply do not have the production currently to compete with the absolute powerhouse economy and production out from Dave. Dave has been somewhat quiet this match, but now coming in strong, bringing in ASFs, getting the T3 air first. We can now see broadswords coming out to attempt to deal with the comm of OK Puck, I would guess. That broadsword is, or no, not broadsword, that's a whaler, in fact. And not a broadsword, but a whaler attacking the comm of OK Puck, forcing OK Puck into the water. No, OK Puck's not going into the water, he's going to die? OK Puck throwing his life away, believing his comm had more HP than it did. OK Puck dying here on the front line. All of this is about to explode as Valone is left on this flank, and Valone does not have water to retreat to. So unless some air units, some ASFs show up to try and save Valone, Valone is also going to be going down to these whalers, which is a very unfortunate situation for Team 2. They managed to get themselves back into the game, if it managed to get an advantage, but now it seems that these T3 air units are just too much to be dealt with. The whalers pulled off the comm for just a moment to kill off that flak. And Valone looking like they're going to go down. They cannot get to that water in time. You can see the comm flaming there in the background, and with that, the death of Valone, it's looking quite dire for Team 1, or Team 2. Now down to a 2v3, and honestly with no hope of map control. Most of their map control was over concentrated in this area. Now they've just got a little bit of a fortress here in the middle, and Dave has just been shoved back into his main base. After RoboGear died, there was no control on this flank, whereas when Noondid Elkwoob managed to die earlier, there was so much infrastructure already over here to try and assist with this flank. And that seems to be putting Team 2 in a dire situation and nearly unassailable position Team 1 have built for themselves. As we have some fervors coming in, just to add insult to injury. Like, yeah, you're so weak you can't even stop my T1 mobile artillery. And we see whalers firing onto the comm of Grode Billix over here. More whalers just constantly being produced and constantly producing issues for Team 2, and Grode seemingly deciding that what's the point, I would guess, is going to die to the whalers, not even attempting to put the comm into the water, just gonna keep running. But the whalers do manage to die off to these Redeemer T3 mobile anti-air, as we see a strap bomber coming in and possibly bombing the economy of Dave, but going down. And there's the desync I mentioned. And the reason that we continue on is because, of course, the game is in its last legs, its infancy. Team 1 is, of course, coming in for the death blow. We can see this army, this T3 and T2 mixed army, is coming in to kill off Drake. Drake has little to no chance of dealing with this, and of course his comm is going to explode in 5, 4, 3, 2. I was off on my countdown. And with that, the final nail in the coffin for Team 2, as we see T1 bombers and T1 artillery coming out to attempt to kill off Grode, who has put out a spectacular performance. Everybody in this game fighting quite well and doing quite well, but Team 1 managing to just find the slightly more advantageous positions in most of these fights and produce a victory. There was only one point where it looked like Team 2 had an advantage, and it was swiftly taken away from them. The failure to tech up to Tech 3 Air and challenge Dave's Empire was a error that they paid for dearly, as we see many a T1 artillery firing. T1 bombers also pitching in their damage, and Grode with no chance but a death wish as he pushes forward using his Harbingers as a final attack force, going out with honor. His plasma gun will be hot as he explodes in 3. Nope, I'm not going to try and do 3, 2, 1, kaboom. Thank you all for watching. I know this cast was a little bit shorter than what I normally do, but I'd also like to say thank you to my patron, Timothy Calderwood, and any other patrons that join up. And I would also like to say, if you liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Subscribe if you want to see more. There is playlists upon playlists of content on my channel. We're about to pass 100 videos, and since most videos are about an hour long, nearly 100 hours of content on YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you. See you in the next one. Goodbye.